In 2004, Blockbuster operated over 9,000 stores in 25 countries. Its brand was more recognizable than most banks. Annual revenue exceeded $6 billion. Late fees alone generated roughly $800 million a year. 6 years later, the company filed for bankruptcy. Today, one store remains, in Bend, Oregon. This is not a story about a company that failed to see the future. It is a story about a company that saw the future clearly and chose not to pay for it. Blockbuster Video was founded in 1985 by David Cook, a Texas entrepreneur who had previously run a software company serving the oil and gas industry. Cook noticed something about existing video rental shops. They were small, dimly lit, poorly stocked, and disorganized. His insight was database-level simple. If you tracked inventory with computers and used purchasing data to match local demand, you could build a rental store that actually had the films people wanted when they wanted them. The first Blockbuster opened in Dallas in October 1985. It was brightly lit. It had thousands of tapes organized by category. It felt like a retail experience, not a back-alley transaction. Within 2 years, the chain was growing at a pace most retailers never reach. What made Blockbuster's model powerful was not just selection, it was economics. A VHS tape cost the store $60 to $70 wholesale. That meant each new release had to be rented roughly 20 times before it turned a profit. Blockbuster's scale let it negotiate revenue-sharing agreements with studios, paying less upfront per tape in exchange for sharing rental income. This meant more copies of new releases on shelves, faster, which meant more satisfied customers, which meant more locations could be sustained. The model compounded. More stores meant more data. More data meant better purchasing. Better purchasing meant higher turns per tape. By 1993, Wayne Huizenga, who had acquired the company in 1987, had grown Blockbuster to nearly 4,000 locations. In 1994, Viacom acquired Blockbuster for approximately $8.4 billion. The chain was treated as a cash generation machine, a way to fund Viacom's other ambitions, including the purchase of Paramount Pictures. Under Viacom, capital investment in Blockbuster continued. Stores expanded internationally. The brand reached peak physical presence around 2004, with over 9,000 locations worldwide. The company's flywheel was straightforward. Friday night foot traffic, new releases, impulse add-ons like candy and popcorn, and, critically, late fees. Late fees were not a bug of the model. They were the model. Customers paid a rental fee, then paid again if they kept the tape too long. This created a recurring revenue stream that cost Blockbuster nothing to deliver, roughly $800 million a year, for doing nothing except waiting. At its peak, Blockbuster employed over 60,000 people. It had become a cultural ritual. The Friday night trip to pick a movie was embedded in American suburban life. Revenue exceeded $6 billion. The company's name was synonymous with home entertainment itself, but embedded in that strength was a structural dependency most customers never thought about. Blockbuster needed you to be slightly inconvenienced. It needed you to drive to the store. It needed you to forget to return the tape. Its profit margins depended on friction. Two cracks were forming simultaneously. The first was debt. Viacom had loaded Blockbuster's balance sheet during the acquisition era. When Blockbuster was spun off as an independent public company again in 2004, it carried approximately $1 billion in debt. This limited its ability to invest aggressively in new initiatives without immediate returns. The second was something subtler. The entire late fee revenue stream was a vulnerability disguised as an asset. It generated enormous cash, but it also generated enormous customer resentment. Every dollar of late fee revenue was a dollar of ill will, and a dollar that any competitor could use as a wedge. The fatal decisions. In the year 2000, Reed Hastings and Mark Randolph, co-founders of a small DVD-by-mail startup called Netflix, flew to Dallas and proposed a partnership to Blockbuster CEO John Antioco. The reported asking price was $50 million. Blockbuster declined. According to Randolph's account, the meeting ended politely but without serious engagement. Now, this moment has become business folklore. The "they laughed Netflix out of the room" story. The truth is more structural than personal. In 2000, Netflix was unprofitable, burning cash, and serving a niche audience of DVD early adopters. Blockbuster's decision to pass was not irrational at that moment. It was rational inside a framework that assumed physical retail would remain dominant. The truly fatal decisions came later. By 2004, Antioco recognized the threat. He launched Blockbuster Online, a DVD-by-mail service, and in 2005, he made a bold move, eliminating late fees entirely. This cost the company approximately $400 million in annual revenue overnight. The strategy was sound. Cut the fee customers hated, invest in online, compete directly with Netflix. But Blockbuster's board, led by activist investor Carl Icahn, revolted. Icahn wanted short-term cash flow. The elimination of late fees was destroying margins precisely when the debt load demanded them. Antioco was pushed out in 2007. His replacement, Jim Keyes, came from the convenience store world. Keyes pivoted back toward physical retail, calling Blockbuster a store-based company. This was the irreversible moment, not the Netflix meeting in 2000. The decision in 2007 to reverse course, to abandon the digital transition that Antioco had begun, while Netflix was scaling its streaming infrastructure. From 2007 forward, Blockbuster was running a physical retail strategy in a market that was migrating to digital delivery at accelerating speed. Netflix reached 10 million subscribers by 2009. Redbox, automated DVD kiosks, captured the casual, low-cost rental market that had been Blockbuster's walk-in traffic. Blockbuster's revenue declined year over year. Store closures accelerated. The debt load became unserviceable as cash flow contracted. The company attempted to launch its own streaming service and kiosk program, but too late and with too little capital. Each quarter brought worse numbers. Lease obligations on thousands of retail locations created fixed costs that could not be cut fast enough. On September 23, 2010, Blockbuster Inc. filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. At the time of filing, the company reported approximately $1 billion in debt. In April 2011, Dish Network acquired Blockbuster's remaining assets for roughly $320 million, a fraction of what Viacom had paid 17 years earlier. Stores closed in waves. By 2014, all corporate-owned locations were shuttered. Today, one independently licensed franchise remains open in Bend, Oregon, operating partly as a nostalgic novelty. The Blockbuster brand is now owned by Dish Network, largely dormant. 60,000 jobs disappeared. Thousands of retail leases were broken. Netflix, the company Blockbuster declined to acquire for $50 million, reached a market capitalization exceeding $100 billion. The physical video rental industry, not just Blockbuster, but the entire category, ceased to exist as a meaningful business within a decade. Blockbuster did not die because one CEO laughed at a meeting in 2000. It died because its most profitable revenue stream, late fees, was also its greatest strategic vulnerability. When leadership tried to amputate that vulnerability, the board prioritized short-term cash over long-term survival. The mechanism is precise. When your profit depends on customer friction, any competitor who removes that friction can take your entire market, unless you cannibalize yourself first. Blockbuster's leadership understood this. Its capital structure and its board did not allow it. The empire did not fall because it was blind. It fell because seeing clearly was not enough.